What's up, guys? It's your boy. Forgot to film an intro pre-haircut, so now I'm sitting here post-haircut, actually editing this video, and I realized I didn't have an intro for it, and today I'm going to show you how to service your transmission. Now, a couple things you may notice that would warrant both a fluid and filter change is, one, you're driving around in traffic and your transmission is slowly starting to slip between gears and it's shifting a little harder than normal, or whenever you're driving, whether it be accelerating or decelerating, it's holding the same gear a little longer than it needs to. Now, the reason I am choosing to do it myself and why you may choose to do it yourself as opposed to taking it to a dealership is because I called my local Dodge dealership and they charged $370 for just the service, not including the filter or the fluid. Now, in total, for the 6 quarts of fluid and for the filter, I paid $90. Now, yes, a dealership may be more skilled when it comes to transmission services and stuff because it is what they do for a living. At the end of the day, this service is no different than changing your oil. It takes a little longer, but you also don't have to do it as often. So, let's start the video off by running to O'Reilly's and getting the filter and fluid. Sponsor me, please. And then the Magnum's RT takes ATF plus 4. The difference between the brands is really minimal, basically just depending on how much you want to spend. But I'm going to go ahead and give it the O'Reilly's brand, and we're going to need 6 quarts. Then it snowed a couple days ago, so we need to get all this salt and stuff off of the side. It doesn't look too great. We're going to go ahead and treat her with the Ultimate Wash here. That way we get the rainbow bubbles. Now, while we're sitting here waiting for the car wash to go ahead and go through, I've realized that I have never named a car that I've ever owned. And there are 2 cars in particular that I plan on owning for a very long time. That being this one and the C10. Now, I've got a couple names in mind that I would like to go with, but if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. You know, while we're in a tunnel, let's just kind of... Yeah, it sounds nice. Look at her. It's been a minute. She deserves it. You've been nice to me. Come on. You can do it. Yeah! Look at that.
Heck yeah.
Alright, we've got all of our oil here. And just for another reminder, it's full synthetic ATF plus 4. Then we have the Power Torque transmission filter kit. And right there's the part number, FK326. Now, when you get on the underside of your engine, right there's the engine with the oil pan, obviously. And right here is your transmission bell housing. So this is where your flywheel and your torque converter and all that stuff is going to be. And then directly behind that, this is your transmission pan. So this is where the filter and the fluid sits. So if you look right in there, it's a Torx bit screw. And mine in particular is going to be a T27 Torx bit. So we're going to start loosening these, and then we will try to catch the fluid. Now, whenever you pull the drain pan, you can see that there's this little rubber gasket that goes all the way around it. And that should just pop off like so. And we will take this, throw it off to the side for now. And then if you look right there, this is a magnet that is designed to catch all of the little dirt and debris and stuff. If you look, just covered in sludge. So it's doing its job, that's for sure, but we're gonna go ahead and clean that off. You'll see this rag here just turns black instantly. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this oil pan, or this drain pan, the rest of the way, and then we'll go ahead and start putting everything back together. Now you will have to take out this bracket that goes right behind the oil pan just to reach the final 2 bolts, but it's just 4 bolts, 1 on each corner, and then 2 bolts right here in the middle. The outside ones are 13, and the middle 2 are 15. Now that everything's pulled, right here is the transmission filter. So that just pops right out. You make a big mess when you pull that. So we'll go ahead and get that out of the way, and then we'll take a look at the new one. Now the new gasket just pops right on there, just as easy as it came off. You just got to slide everything into its place and work your way around the edge. You don't have to make any kind of sealant or anything, because this isn't like a cork or paper gasket or anything. It's just a thick piece of rubber that seats itself on there. And then the filter, same story. It just pushes back up into place. All right, and then this little tab down here lines up with this hole that's on this side, and then the big mouth up there just goes all in the same spot, like so. Now, when you pop your hood, you're gonna go back, and it's usually behind the engine, or if it's a front wheel drive car, it'll be somewhere up here, but you're gonna pop this little thing off, and this is the cap, and that is the tube that goes down into the transmission. And you're gonna want a relatively long funnel with a long narrow spout on it. Now everything I read online and everything I could find shows that the fluid capacity for the transmission is 6 quarts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with 5, and then I've got 2 extra in the box, but I'll go ahead and put 5 in. We'll start the car, let it run for a sec, and then I'll show you how to check your fluid level. All right, and we're going to start the car, and then we will put the brake in, put it in reverse, let it set for a second, put it in neutral, put it in drive, see we have it in manual mode. We'll let it sit in first, second, third, fourth, and then in drive again. Now I'm going to check the fluids, and we should be on our way. Now I do not have an actual dealership spec transmission dipstick because they are literally $60 for a used one. So you have this long zip tie. We have everything marked off, thank goodness, from the previous owner. So since the motor is not up to temperature, we'll go ahead and take this off. And then we will grab it on the blue line where it's cold. And we will feed this in here. Let it go all the way down until we reach our thumb to it. Then we'll pull it out. we're about a quart low, just as we expected. So let's put the last quart in there, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, so now that the old filter is actually out of the car, I've let it drain overnight just so we don't have a bunch of fluid flowing everywhere. But I'm going to try and see if I can't pop this thing open, and we'll see what's trapped on the inside of it. Alright, now that the filter is separated from each other, you can see all throughout here teeny tiny little sparkles, and those are all different metal flakes and stuff. That's the top of the filter, so there's not going to be much there. But then here's the back side of the filter, and you can see it's just a little dirtier on the edge. But here's the fun part. If you look at the top of the filter, this is why your transmission needs stuff like this. It's because all of this build up here, and all of these little sparkly bits, like especially right in here, and we got a few down in here. That's all metal shavings. And this is why you need filters. So I'm actually kind of glad we took this apart, because this just shows it does its job. Because without something like this, all these teeny tiny little metal flakes could have gone in and around the transmission and caused premature failure. So, huge thank you to Mercedes for making the filter and the transmission. Back to the video. Now, if you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, please be sure to drop a like and share it with your friends. If you'd consider subscribing, click over here. If you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch next, click over here. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys next time.